Excuse me? Is this thing on? Stop the presses. Hold the phone. It's time to step up to the mic. Here's what's going on in your community.
Oh, boy. The magic of technology in our hands, kids. Hi, it's a Mike Side Chat. Darren and Rachel, you better check your elf before you wreck your elf. We're getting festive up in here. How you doing? Good to see you.
Oh, man. Gosh. I'm so glad it's Friday. I don't know about you, but...
It's been a long, full 5 days of busy,
and I think
goodness.
Coming off of, Thanksgiving week, it's been nonstop since then. There has been no break. Everything has been amped up, and it's just where are we?
What day is 11. And and it's December 9th. This month is blowing through.
Right.
I thought I did some early Christmas shopping. Now I know I'm still behind in the shop.
I know. I was going through my list because I keep a notes app and to see who all, because try to keep things balanced with all the nieces and stuff. Mm-hmm. And it just kind of keeps me organized for who I still need to buy for. And I was like, man, we're good. I got things wrapped that we have at home. Yeah. Everything is under the tree. And I got looking at my list and I was like, oh, I'm not even a fraction of the way done. I don't know why I thought I was more complete with this process.
This year I think I'm just going to give the gift of disappointment.
That's a solid thing.
Children, this is just a life lesson for you. Take this one home, kids. But
happy adulting.
That's it. Very happy adulting indeed. Well, thanks for joining us. We're glad you're here. A little technical issues at the beginning. You see, Facebook likes to change things all the time, and I wanted to share this on my personal profile so all you people could see it. But what happened? Facebook said, no, sir. You must remain as the Mike FM page. There can be no other. It's like the Highlander of social media.
I still don't understand why some of our pages are in the real pages thing, but then some of them are still the classic, and then you have to switch over to things. And I
could start a whole rant about it.
I can't. I just
what
can't.
really grinds my gears? But I'm not going to go there. I am going to share it though. I'm sharing it on my phone because my phone says it's okay. You're not broadcasting from me. Sharing is caring. So feel free to share the feed if you're tuning in and engage with us in the comments. We got a lot of festive stuff to talk about today.
We do. And we're going to be giving away some stuff, too.
Yes, indeed.
Right?
We've got our friend Chuck Stratton and Johnny Tossarello, the fine purveyors of the drive-in, the Rock and Roll Drive-In, just south of Cape. It is their last weekend. I got to actually pull them up because I know Rock and Roll Drive-In. You can still get tickets for tonight's shows, but it's their last weekend of the season. They shut her up for the colder, darker, sadder winter months. But
sure.
But we've got a couple of car passes we're going to give away today. So just say drive-in or car pass in the comments if you're interested, and we'll hook you up potentially.
Just say hey, yeah.
Let
us know you're here and that you're listening, and we'll go and select a winner.
But Chuck sent me a message. He said, because we're talking about, one of the things we'll talk about today is our Mike's Movie Madness bracket and the battle of the Christmas movies. And, of course, the drive-in's a great place to go catch a movie. And since it is the end of the season, tonight, here's the 2 nights. You can go either night with your car pass. You can go tonight, and it's always a double feature. You can go see How the Grinch Stole Christmas, or you can go, and following that is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh, that is a fun one, too.
I love that movie.
That'd be great.
That's top, one of the top on my list. We'll
no
talk about
spoilers.
That. No spoilers. One of the tops. But so tonight you could go see How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the Jim Carrey PG version, and National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Or you could go tomorrow night, and they kick the night off with Elf, another top-tier Christmas hit, followed by A Christmas Story. It's really the battle of the top 4 movies may come down to these, but you can go see them at the drive-in tonight.
I feel like that's a solid top 4 when it comes to our holiday movie madness bracket.
Yep. So if you're interested in going to the drive-in tonight, leave us a comment, and we'll pick you, and you can swing. You don't even have to swing by the station. We'll send your name to the drive-in. It'll be like a will call situation. We'll say, John Doe is coming with a carload of festive friends, and they're going to have a good time tonight. And of course, they got food trucks and popcorn and all that good stuff there.
Oh, yeah. So. Be a great way to kick off another full holiday weekend for sure.
Absolutely. And we love those festive movies. We're going to talk about them in a minute. But before we dig in on all the movie madness and the mathematics of the bracket and the probabilities and all the science, we've got a very cool thing going on right now that we've partnered with the Baker's Bar in Jackson. The 500 Cards for Care, or the Everyday Heroes.
Yes.
I'm getting my things. We got some, like I said, we got a lot to talk about. But Rachel, why don't you tell them a little bit more about, what we're doing here with the Everyday Heroes?
Sure. So we have been asking for you to nominate your everyday hero because we know there's so many people here in the community that anytime danger strikes or something bad happens, they're the ones that are running into the situation, right? Keeping us all safe and being there to kind of help make sure that we're all taken care of. And we just, this time of year, sometimes we kind of take advantage of all of that.
Yeah.
I was thinking the other night, my mom had a smoke detector situation at my sister's house going off. And it's like, we're going to call the fire department. Like, they're always there. No matter what's going on, they can help you out. And so sometimes I think we get kind of caught up in the hustle and bustle. Yeah. They have families too. So we want to say, right.
Their front end is, they're going home to their family at night. They're going through the same Christmas shopping garbage stress that we're dealing with. They're all humans. We're all humans. And sometimes you need a big fat hug. And when you can't get a big fat hug, sometimes a card will do the trick. Absolutely.
$250 Visa gift card up for grabs. We want to surprise one lucky first responder. So that first responder can share it with his friends at the club or at the clubhouse, at the fire station, or at their unit. I don't know if there's a general term for that or not, but with their coworkers and their peers, or they can take it at home, to their families and use it how they want.
Blow it all on hats. Your choice.
But. And we're super grateful for the Baker Bar in Jackson for teaming up with us to be able to provide that amazing prize to one of our everyday heroes this holiday season.
Yeah, we've been talking about the Baker's Bar today on air if you've been listening during our festive Christmas with Mike. Powered by Chris Willis RV. But the Baker's Bar, man, they do like pretty much everything baked sweet. Like I look at it and I start getting diabetes. But no, they can do it all. They custom cakes. They got like 100 different flavors of cake pops.
Oh my gosh.
So you can get a
ice
cake
cream?
pop bouquet, never tastes the same flavor.
No. And the artwork that they do on their cookies and their cakes, I was looking at their website the other day just to kind of learn a little bit more about it. I mean, masterpieces. Everything is done so well. Totally Instagram worthy. So if you're looking for like that perfect Christmas cookie or holiday treat that you need for your parties to impress, you want to check out the Baker's Bar in Jackson.
Absolutely. Good crew over there, and we're so glad to have them on board with us for these everyday heroes. And the key to surprising an everyday hero is to get everyday heroes nominated.
Absolutely.
So we've had some folks coming in. We'd love to hear from you if there's a first responder out there that you want to celebrate, you want to see rewarded with such things, then make sure you get your name into us. You can do it at 939micfm.com. Just click the little Everyday Heroes thing. You can submit the form right there. It won't take you but a few seconds, and we'll be in touch if we choose your first responder.
And even if you don't know somebody personally, but you want to thank, like you live in Fruitland, the Fruitland Fire Department or the police department for being there for you, nominate the whole precinct. Drop us a note and we'll put them into that drawing to win that $250 Visa gift card together. We can totally do that.
And and we talked about the ones that go into the heat of battle, so to speak, that go into those emergency situations. There's first responders, the firemen show up at the wreck and they're helping extricate somebody from a car or whatever, but there are also those who are working with those first responders behind the scenes, dispatchers.
Absolutely.
No one would get a response at a wreck unless it was happenstance that a cop happened to be driving by if it wasn't for the dispatchers.
And they put in long hours as well, overnight shifts, and just being able to process everything that is happening. I mean, definitely one of the underrated heroes for sure.
And it takes a certain mindset to be able to have these conversations with somebody in a traumatic situation and remain calm.
Agreed.
And have the wherewithal to think of step 1, step 2, step 3, this is what I got to do. I mean, they get training, but you got to have some natural skills for that. So,
you really do.
Shout out to you.
I'd be way too stressed all the time. My anxiety would be out the room. Be like, I don't know what to do.
That's it. No, I'd be like, oh, well, have you prayed about it? Look at my legs on fire. Help me.
Stop.
So, shout out to you. And again, get those nominations in for the Everyday Heroes at 939micfm.com. And a shout out to the Baker's Bar. Maybe we'll, this is a ploy to get me fed, doing interviews with food people, but we should have the Baker's Bar come in and do a holiday sampling or something.
Oh, we should.
I'm sure they don't have anything else to do right now. But
maybe they can try to teach us how to decorate cookies.
Yeah. Mine would turn out terrible. I am not a visual artist.
No. I have a great visual in mind, and it looks nothing like I thought it was going to.
My daughter's a great artist. I'm that guy that, when I get done, they're like, well, that's either camo or unicorn vomit. I can't tell, but it's very colorful there.
One
and
or
good
the
job.
other.
So we've got that going on, the Everyday Heroes thing. And just a reminder again, if you're tuning in, you can let us know in the comments if you're interested. We've got a couple car passes to hand out for the Rock and Roll Drive-In for movie time. But something else we're doing that I alluded to early on because I couldn't keep my stuff straight is our 500 cards for care.
Yes.
This is a cool deal, and you don't have to be an artist to do this.
No.
Let me tell you that right off the bat. You can buy a box of cards, hang out with your fam, fill out messages, but give them a little more detail on this, Rachel.
Yeah, so we did this a little bit last year. We did cards for our healthcare heroes because 2021, 2020, everything was just kind of crazy. And so this year we decided to spin it just a bit because you guys did so amazing by giving us these cards, and we were able to spread so much holiday cheer. We thought, well, why not we try it again this year?
That's right.
So this year we're going to take those cards that we get and donate them to area nursing homes, the veterans home, assisted living facilities. So that's why we're trying to collect 500 because there's a lot of people that are in those situations that might not get the holiday cheer or the family coming to see them or whatnot. Just kind of being stuck in one spot can kind of be taxing this time of year. And so, kind of remember when you'd go Christmas caroling when you were little and you would kind of hit those spots?
Oh, church youth group Christmas carol? Yeah, for sure.
So that's kind of what we're trying to do with cards this year. So if you have a group, you've got a life group, you've got a work family, maybe you're really bored at work this time of year because people have kind of shut down things. Take 15, 20 minutes and get with your work peers and make some cards or buy them and fill them out and then drop them off at our studios. And we're going to pass those out the week before Christmas.
And just put a nice message in there. You can sign your name and you don't have to sign your name if you don't want. Just put in a nice message. Yeah. I encourage you to write until your hands cramp up. But we'd love to see a lot of these cards come in. It's real easy. You can do it. Drop them off right down here at the station at 324 Broadway, and we'll collect all those. And then again, like Rachel said, we're going to distribute those out throughout the assisted living communities and the nursing homes and those facilities for this holiday season. And you're right. There are, I've been fortunate. Both my grandma and my grandma, married grandma, lived well into their 90s. My grandma was 99 when she passed. And she was, for her last 5 years or so, she was at the Baptist home up in Ironton, and and we'd go visit. Yeah. But there are definitely those that are lonesome. Maybe family that's not in town, or family that's just they don't have that family around anymore.
Right.
You hate to say people outlive their kids, but it does happen.
Honestly, it does.
Not everybody's got a big old German family, so
sure.
So take some time and show some love, and we will be sure to project that love that you send here back on when we get these cards out and around the community.
Definitely. Really looking forward to that. It was so fun to do last year and to drop those off and to just say thank you. And so really excited about doing that. But we need the cards to go with it. So it's going to take Darren and I a really long time to make 500 cards. So please don't make us make 500 cards.
I don't have that much glue sticks in my house. And you can make the cards. Get creative with them. If you're a teacher, you want to get your class of kids together to do it, or maybe a Sunday school project this weekend. Do it. Last year we had some great little creative construction paper cards. Just exactly what you'd hope you'd see from kiddos. Those came in. Those are always fun because everybody loves a handmade card.
Yeah. Even if you want to take like a Christmas coloring book that you get like at the dollar store and have your kids color it, put their name on it.
Write a message on the
paper. Too. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah, and you can bonus points for that. You fold up the thing, stick it inside a card, and they'll have a little picture to hang on the wall, little festive stuff. So get creative with it, though, and then bring those by next week down here to the station, and we'll get them back into the community.
For sure. For sure.
And yes, it is Christmas movie madness time. The bracket is up right now. Holiday movie madness bracket. I'm not showing you my picks yet. And we print in black and white because we save color ink around here, kids.
Right.
It's important.
We posted this question, and some of you guys were very opinionated about what Christmas movies were the best. And it was kind of sprinkled across the board, so we figured why not put them to a good old head-to-head matchup.
That's right. And I will say I've had to give some concessions to people who are like, well, how come this one wasn't, that one wasn't? Okay, Gremlins is a very good Christmas movie. There are many good Christmas movies. Love Actually is a great Christmas movie. But we only got 16 slots. So sometimes you got to make a sacrifice for the greater good. So these are 16 of the top Christmas movies, whether that be theatrical grossing numbers or post-broadcast years of longevity. Some of these have got 70 years mileage on them. Right. But they're still strong Christmas movies. So
and we tried to keep it to do sequels. We didn't do anything like that. We didn't do Lifetime Christmas movies because that's a whole
sorry,
other
Hallmark
can
and
of worms.
Lifetime Channel.
Like,
I understand. I know you're out there, but
Harry Potter, we didn't include. It's got some Christmas vibes to it.
Yeah,
like
it could have its own. I mean, you could have a bracket of 64 movies.
Sure.
And that's just too much work, frankly. Sorry. So we narrowed it down to 16, and of those 16, we want you to pick your number one. You can fill out the bracket on your own, but we want you to tell us what your number one, who you think is going to win it all. Okay, put that into the mix.
Not what you think is number one,
right?
But what you think is going to win in the bracket whenever everybody votes coming up next week.
We want to know where your Vegas money is going. Okay, so you pick your winner, who you think is going to take it all, the championship movie. You send that to us. And then go ahead and print out your bracket, and you can fill it out because we've got the first round set up. Each of the first 8 battles is built, and we're going to bring those battles to Facebook, and you guys are going to throw down the gauntlets, and we'll see who comes out on top based on your votes on Facebook.
Yeah, so pay attention starting Monday. We're going to have those matchups there. Every time you vote in a matchup, one vote per matchup. Right. But every time you do vote and participate, you're getting entered to win some regular movie passes to Marcus Cape West Cinema as well. So you can go to the movies sometime in the next few weeks, kind of go with your family, and who knows what other prizes we might have up our sleeves that we might end up throwing in there too. But to be entered for that all-you-can-eat movie pass, the
big master
champion
prize
of prizes. You want to make sure that you submit your guess for who you think is going to win ultimately the matchup and the bracket.
Yep. And then fill out your bracket at home. You can keep a blank one, and follow along on Facebook so you keep track of who won. And for those of you who are conspiracy theorists, they're like, well, if I pick the winner and then I work real hard to get everybody to vote for this one, I could technically win this contest, fix this contest. Do not have that many fans. Nor are we popular enough for anybody to fix this thing. So just drop that whole theory right now.
Totally invite your friends to participate. Absolutely.
That's
you
right.
can try.
So I'll give you our list of 16, and these are in no particular order. You can find out placements, obviously, when you go look at the bracket. You can go, oh, look, this is the battle. So our first matchups will be It's a Wonderful Life, timeless classic, versus The Santa Claus, 1994.
And this matchup...
Do you feel disrespectful if you vote for Santa Claus?
Yes, but I feel like if I'm in the mood for a holiday movie, I'm going to The Santa Claus versus It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
So it's really hard. It's my head versus my heart on this one.
Well, it's kind of a Coke Pepsi situation.
Yeah.
You go for the classic or the new hip generation.
Right.
I say new hip generation. The movie's 28 years old. It's not like The Santa Claus is a recent movie, relatively speaking. But relative to It's a Wonderful Life, it is. So that's our first matchup. I have to say I go It's a Wonderful Life on that one.
I did too, judging by the pics that you guys made already on Facebook, who was putting in what. That one did come up a little bit more, I think, than the Santa Claus. Yep. So I did wrestle with myself to go with my head versus my heart on that one.
It is, it brings angels to life, that movie.
It does.
Every
it's
time
a classic, for sure.
That bell's rang millions of times over the years. Our second matchup is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the classic 1964 claymation action. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Why is the background changing black? That was weird. Versus Miracle on 34th Street, another, and this is the classic version from 1947. So Rudolph, 1964, not a young pup on the block, but Miracle on 34th Street, that's a kind of an epic battle of the ages there.
Yeah, I wrestled with this one a little bit. I don't feel one way or the other in this one. I think that they're both pretty evenly matched up.
Yeah.
But just traditions and everything else, I feel like more people watch Rudolph. It's one of those ones that keeps coming back.
Well, it's the broadcast repeat.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. So that's where my vote went in that matchup.
When I was a kid coming up, we had Rudolph, we had Frosty. We watched those. Miracle on 34th Street.
Right.
I don't know if I ever even saw it as a child.
Really? Okay.
Of course, I grew up Jewish. No, I'm just kidding. We watched all kinds of Christmas movies, but I don't remember that one being broadcast on TV that much. So
no, it might.
I grew up without cable too, though, so we didn't have a lot of
to look at. I'm trying to remember now if I can even remember the plot because it's been so long since
on Miracle on 34th Street.
Yeah.
So the guy is being a Santa, like me doing it at the basketball game, and he gets arrested for something, and they say, and basically have to prove in court that he is Santa in order to win the case.
I do remember that one now. So,
it's actually a really good law movie if you're into court-setting precedents and so forth.
There you go. Kind of a trendsetter, something a little bit different in that day and age for Christmas movies.
That is true. You had to prove it. I believe Santa Claus is real. I know because he cuts me a check. The Muppet Christmas Carol from 1992 is taking on Four Christmases from 2008. Four Christmases is our youngest movie, I guess, in the lineup of the movies we've got. So Muppet Christmas Carol, it's an oldie-ish but goldie, 30 years strong, and then of course, Four.
Have you seen Four Christmases? Years.
I've not.
Oh my gosh, you're missing out. If you have dysfunctional family at all, this is the movie to watch.
It's the premise is right. They're divorced. The parents were divorced or something, and so they've got to hit both sets of in-laws and then divorcing
and
in-laws.
The couple. So it's Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon, which are hilarious together.
It's like Christmas Crashers,
basically. And they go on vacation every year because they don't want to deal with their families. They just don't want to be. They just don't want to get into all of that. They're very much, the two of them, they're in their own little bubble and they love it. So they're kind of selfish in a way in that retrospect. And then all of a sudden a big fog storm comes in. They can't go on their vacation. The parents find out. And so they have to then hit all four family Christmases. They learn stuff about each other. And there's some Tim McGraw is out of shape and this redneck. There's so many cameos. Dwight Yoakam is in it, too.
I was say, it sounds like a Dwight Yoakam on
he is
Sling
a preacher,
like
an over-the-top preacher that shows up.
Okay. I may have to give
really
this one
funny.
a shot. Mm-hmm. I've not delved into it yet.
Definitely a stupid kind of humor, but we end up quoting it
that's right
a lot.
My alley.
Yeah. So I was really torn, but I think bracket-wise, Muppets, again, classic, more so family-ish than this one, even though this one has become one of our traditions that we end up watching.
Well, I'm rooting for the Muppets, but it's not easy being green, so we'll see how it does for Christmas.
Bum, bum, bum.
And then we see Elf, another, that's that Big 12 school of Christmas movies, right? Elf, roll Christmas. Elf takes on Die Hard.
This is a heavyweight matchup, man.
This is. And I'm a Die Hard guy. I absolutely believe it's a Christmas movie. I feel like Die Hard right here is kind of the rock and roll guy pulling for all those other, like Gremlins that we had to leave out. And some of the other ones that are kind of like Lethal Weapon, absolutely Christmas movie. Again, ho, 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 shoot 'em up. I feel like Die Hard's kind of representing the classic.
Now, don't throw anything at me,
battle.
But I've never watched Die Hard.
I won't. I didn't see Four Christmases. So.
I haven't.
Vince Vaughn is not in Die Hard. I think Vince Vaughn was.
I don't know if it is an actual Christmas movie. I don't know.
The movie takes place during the Christmas season at an office Christmas party.
Okay, so therefore,
and there's some holly jolly quotes in there. Obviously, some quotes we will not say on air or on social media today. But so that's our first four matchups of the bracket. So that's one side of the bracket. It's A Wonderful Life versus Santa Claus, The Santa Claus, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer versus Miracle on 34th Street, The Muppet Christmas Carol versus Four Christmases, and then Die Hard versus Elf. That's one side of the bracket. So one of those is going to take on one from the other battle, which brings us from 1983, A Christmas Story. And that will take on The Polar Express, a more recent-ish movie, 2004. Polar Express, Tom Hanks did a great job with that. The animation was fantastic. This was, I'm 30 years old when this movie comes out. I couldn't have given two poops about Polar Express. But then when I had kids, and let's watch Polar Express from, 5-6 years ago. Well, looky there.
Well, I feel like they did such a great job of it not being, yes, it was kid, but it wasn't like a cheesy kid animation.
Yeah, it wasn't campy
Right.
Next on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, and it was just, I don't know, there was something magical about it. It's very much a Christmas Eve.
Christmas spirit.
Ooh. Right.
I like that part.
Yeah, and for me, the Christmas Story, it's on all the time. I don't, it was a little bit more before my
saturated.
Time. Yeah. And it's just okay, it's on again, whatever.
Rachel
For us,
with the hate.
Right. I'm I don't care about you shooting your eye out. I really just I don't care at this point. I am intrigued by the sequel that's coming out. But
somewhat. It looks like they're doing it right
from
the bits and pieces I've seen for the sequel.
Sure.
But For me, it dropped in 1983. I was a 9-year-old blonde boy with glasses, was instantly Ralphie.
Sure.
I did not shoot my eye out. I knew how to use a BB gun.
That's good.
But yeah, that was Ralphie and me and Ovaltine and Santa's whiskey breath. Like, this movie epitomizes my
It was
Christmas.
your childhood growing up.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if I dropped an F-bomb in front of my father, even to this date. I may have dropped one at 48 years old, but I may have said fudge now and then. But, it's one of those, I think it was good because it dropped in 83. That boomer generation kind of grew up in that era, the, late 40s, early 50s of that. So they were getting that feel good from 30 years ago. The younger us's were getting the, he got his tongue stuck to a pole giggles,
Yeah.
And so I don't know. That's the first battle on the other side of the bracket, though. Those two, A Christmas Story versus The Polar Express.
I had a tough time voting between the two.
Yeah.
Real tough time.
Did you go Polar Express?
I did not.
You did not?
I went mind over
Okay.
heart. Again, it's probably going to not be right, but I did go with
There
Christmas
are
Story.
no wrong answers, just lesser than perfect answers.
This is true.
Or
I don't
second
like
place
anything
answers.
subpar, Darren.
Yeah, me either. That's why I also voted A Christmas Story on this one. Matter of fact, I'll go so far as to say that's my overall winner,
Oh,
is A Christmas Story.
okay.
I feel strong this year. I feel like Ralphie's going to take me home. Do it, Ralphie. You son of a gun.
Wow.
So there's matchup one in the West Coast bracket. Matchup number 2 is going to feature The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, but I didn't have room to type all that out. So I did The Grinch WSG or WSC.
I'm not gonna lie, it took me a minute to figure out what that stood for.
Yeah, The
I
Grinch
looked
Who
at it
Stole
way too
Christmas.
long, and I was like,
Well, there's
Oh,
movies that's just The
Christmas.
Grinch, so I
Right.
didn't want somebody like,
"Sure, which one
don't
is
be
it?"
that technical guy. So
Yeah.
Jim Carrey and his wily antics at The Grinch will take on National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I went Christmas Vacation. I love Jim Carrey. I
Right.
love the dude on Living Color in the early 90s when he was hanging out with all the Wayans 18 kids. But I just don't like that Grinch. I
No.
don't like that version. It's
The Grinch.
it's too animated for me.
Yeah.
It's like did you ever see the Speed Racer remake they did in like the early 2000s?
Oh,
It was
yeah.
way flashy colors
was-
and real
yes.
saturated. That's
Yeah.
how this feels to me.
I gotcha.
I'll still watch it. I don't get car sick watching
I
it.
feel like they did because this is the Jim Carrey version, right? You're
Right,
talking about- Yeah.
yeah.
So like this to me was almost like a real kind of dark, edgy humor type Grinch.
It was kind of a Tim Burton-y Grinch.
A little
Kinda.
bit. It kind of had those vibes for
Yeah.
me. And growing up, growing up. I mean, I was. I
Well,
guess,
the Grinch didn't talk much growing up,
No.
right? We didn't see
Right.
his
Yeah.
and he's doing things.
Right.
But
And
the
this
Grinch
one, like-
himself, no voice part.
No, and Carrie just made him so gross, so nasty.
Yeah.
Like you just didn't want to
Offensive.
even ugh.
Yeah.
Touch
You
it with
really
it.
and he did well. He
Yeah.
made you hate the Grinch.
He
and
did.
that's the goal, right?
He really did. For me, it's Vacation,
Yeah.
Christmas Vacation. No way, no ifs, ands, and buts. That's my
happiest
winner for this
bunch of
year.
Grapes.
It came out the year I was born. We quote it all the time.
Rachel again making me feel old. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, well,
wait, no.
it is. It's timeless quotes coming out of that
No, I
movie,
was
left
born
and
after. No, was that 89 or 86?
89.
Okay, so it was 89. So yeah, the year I was born.
Yeah. I was in ninth
Sorry.
grade. Anyway, yeah, National Lampoon's Christmas
Just love
Vacation. Anywhere you can watch a movie that's got moose head cups drinking eggnog out of
Oh
them,
my
you
gosh.
can't go wrong.
And the lines just never get old.
That's just it. Clark, if you don't mind, I'm going to fumigate this, boy. Get a couple miles out of that.
What the set you back?
That's it. So we got 2 more matchups in this side of the bracket. Next up, we see Home Alone, the original Home Alone, Macaulay Culkin. And that Home Alone is taking on Scrooged. Bill Murray's Scrooged. This is the first year Bill Murray's Scrooged has made the cut for the Christmas movies. But
wow.
I felt like they needed to be in there.
Yeah. Had to have a version of the Christmas Carol. I know you've got the
Yeah.
Muppet side of things, but then
And this version's got it all, right?
Yeah.
It's got the absolute, when Scrooge came out in '88, it showcases the epitome of the '80s me, overproduced media, cranking out the sponsorships. Let's make a bunch of money. Like that's the fire of this Scrooge.
Yeah, it
It's
made
not
like it seem real.
Timmy gets no money. It's just he's a terrible dude.
Awful person.
And the ghost they have play does great. What's his name that does the cab driver? He's the feeling hot guy. I can't remember his name. But anyway, Buster Poindexter maybe?
Maybe so. Yeah. I know my in-laws love, this is their favorite version of Scrooge.
Yeah. It's good.
Favorite.
I mean, the cinematography was done well, and the actors do a great job. I mean, Bill Murray's fantastic. So, but Scrooge, I mean, you've got a mountain to climb here. Home Alone.
It's hard to knock that one off because
is.
you're also tapping more into 90s kids and everything
And you cannot, with any of these, let me say this too, nothing should come into consideration about sequels after. So Home Alone 2, Home Alone 3, Problem Child 5, whatever the hell they kept coming up with after the fact. Macaulay Culkin's 40. Let's do Home Alone 17.
How many times can you leave your kid at home?
I know, right? Terrible parenting, especially with that bank account, man. How do you fly an entire family and in-laws to France?
And the house that they live in?
Yeah.
Like, what? I'm sorry.
I was kind of feeling Joe Pesci on this one. I was like, you know what, Joe? Go ahead and take the bank, man. They've got good insurance, no doubt.
Just do it. Be fine.
But yeah, Home Alone, a great movie. Another good, it's got its funny, it's got its moments of danger, and it's got its feel good for sure. Especially when, he manages to reconnect that guy with his son. Are you kidding me? No spoiler alerts there, but it's been 30 years.
I kind of forgot how good this movie was. It was on we stumbled upon it the other day because it was on. And so we started watching it again. And I was like, I forgot how good Home Alone is because there's so many Christmas movies now.
Yeah.
And you're trying to watch what you can and squeeze them in, and everybody has their favorites. Yeah. But I was like, I kind of forgot about this one.
They did a good job. They did a great job of incorporating Christmas music into this movie.
The score is fantastic.
The when they use Bing Crosby White Christmas and he's singing his brush, like the songs they do. It's just beautiful. I love it. So we'll see how it goes. Home Alone taking on Scrooge. I'm the B team on this one. I voted Scrooge.
You did?
I did.
Okay.
So only because I knew nothing was going to beat Christmas Story in my bracket, so I didn't really give a crap who won between.
You just kind of filled in this side.
That's it.
I went Home Alone.
Hey,
I
Dad,
just
I'm
think that I just feel like too many people are still about it. I think that Kevin McAllister stole hearts whenever he, I just feel like that one's going to end up coming out.
I think you're probably
on top.
Right. And then our final matchup of the brackets, White Christmas from 1954, Bing Crosby, Danny Kaye. Classic.
Oh, yeah.
1954 White Christmas taking on 1965 Charlie Brown Christmas. Another matchup of the classics, but Charlie Brown Christmas dropped in 1965. I think ABC actually aired it at first. An interesting fact of it, when it was first broadcast, it was basically the only reason that the Charlie Brown Christmas happened was because of Coca-Cola. They wanted a Christmas show. They came to Charles Schulz and said, we want to do a Christmas show. Coke's going to pay for it. He said, okay. But he had stipulations like they use actual children for the Children Act.
Yeah.
So that's why there's those awkward pauses in the voice lines, like when Linus is reading the book of Luke and he says, and the angel came to visit them and said, lo, behold, I am a That's the actual kids.
Wow.
So, that was his insistence that was done. And he insisted that they leave the scripture in the show, too. Because there was obviously some concern about, you're going to offend people that aren't biblical. He didn't care.
Yeah.
He said, my characters, you do what I tell you.
Yeah.
But it was basically Coke paid for it at the beginning. And in the original ones, they had, there was product placement.
See, that's what I was just going to say. I was like, I would have never have thought that because I feel like anytime I see it, there was no mention of Coca-Cola or anything.
There was once upon a time, but those were phased out. Of course, after it was produced, then it was bought by somebody else. Well, they're going to cut the Coke parts out. So,
gotcha.
Yeah. But
learning so much today.
Your little Charlie Brown Christmas nuggets, kids. And then, of course, taking on White Christmas. And White Christmas itself is, have you ever seen White Christmas?
I have.
The OG?
Yes.
I love that one. That's like a guilty pleasure one for me.
My husband and his family are very much old school movie buffs. And that's one of the ones that's on TV during Christmas time. That and A Walton's Homecoming.
That one almost made the cut
list.
too. That was I saw that one even mentioned a couple times I think online. So
that was the first time I'd ever seen the Waltons or the Homecoming was with them whenever I started dating Nolan.
On, boy.
And so I have seen the original White Christmas.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, we could go with like a cheesy Christmas bracket that's just by itself. You know,
Oh, you absolutely.
we will
could.
pair John Denver with the Gorgonzola, or but yeah. So White Christmas, great flick taking on Charlie Brown, and again, all these matchups are going to show up Monday on Facebook, and you guys will be able to go and place your bets, so to speak. Make your mark as to which one should move on, and we get through the first round. That's going to run for a few days, and then we'll hit round 2, where we'll have our top 8 battling it out, and then we'll do down to the final 4 or the final 2 really. No, the final 4 is the top 8, and then we will have our top 2 movies. I think
And
it's
all
going to
of
be Christmas Story.
all the deadlines and instructions will be on all the Facebook
Yeah.
posts. So don't worry about
keep it clear.
trying to keep track of what's what. Let us deal with that headache.
And again,
Use it
really,
go and vote.
the biggest thing you need to do now is just go to 939mikefm.com and send us your winner pick for the overall winner of the whole wazoo, and then you'll be in the running for that all-you-can-eat movie pass.
We know that you're real busy people this time of year,
Yeah.
so I didn't want to make you log in, make a whole
Fill the
bracket
whole
and
bracket
everything.
out,
So
and yeah, that's
just tell us who you think your winner's going to be, and you'll be entered to win that all-you-can-eat movie pass if you guess correctly.
That's right. So go download your bracket if you want, but you can send us the winner right there on the website, quick and painless, and we'll get you in the running. It's going to be fun. It'll be fun to see how it plays out. I think we should make personal goals to watch at least half of these. I need to make a personal goal to watch 4 Christmases since I've never seen it.
So we've already
make that on the
watched
list.
Christmas Vacation. We have watched Elf. We have watched The Santa Clauses, the new series on Disney
my.
Plus that's out. And we have watched Christmas Vacation. So now we're about 5 in.
You're way. I'm not.
I guess.
I haven't even tapped the
Really?
keg here. I haven't even touched Christmas.
Oh, and part of
Stories
Home
yet.
Alone. Yeah.
Nothing. A Christmas Story always gets a viewing for me, just again because that's one of my favorites. But yeah, I'm gonna have to step up my game. Rachel's blowing me
with
out of
it.
the water here.
Doing what I can. I love Christmas time. We
I
play
do
great
too.
Christmas music. I just kind of was like, Thanksgiving's
right.
here. I'm always one of those Black Friday rolls around. It's Christmas season. Now, I don't like to get too ahead of myself because, like,
The pre-Thanksgiving
needs-
decor?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I'm not really. No.
Have you done lights and you got your tree up and stuff?
We do, yeah. We did have our outdoor lights. We didn't turn them on, but we had them on the house
Yeah.
just because the weather was nicer. But we waited to turn them on until we could think.
I was excited to do mine this year because the intent was my dad and I were going to be cutting my big bushes
Yeah.
down, and I was going to put lights back on that people would see because
Oh, sweet.
right now there's about this much space where I can put lights that people could see. So I'm going to figure something else out. Maybe I'll decorate the bushes this year.
There you go.
Since I'm going to cut them down anyway, just like
fun.
blow a bunch of fake
Yeah.
snow, styrofoam crap up. Well, not styrofoam. That'd be a terrible idea, but I don't know. We haven't done the
Some
tree
streamers
yet.
in
We haven't
there.
done any of that. Hopefully this weekend
Just
we'll be
settle
able
in.
to conquer that.
It's not like
I'm a
you've
real
been
tree
busy,
guy,
Darren.
so-
You've not had anything going
Nah,
on.
I've been napping pretty much all the time.
That's it.
That's all.
We didn't
Not
have
the naps.
We didn't have a Toys for Tots 24-hour toy drive the last 2 days.
No, not at all.
A big thank you to everybody who came out too and
Absolutely,
supported that
yeah.
with Toys for Tots.
That was fun, and even with the rain yesterday, it was great to see people roll up and
Yeah,
donate.
absolutely.
It's nice to see the community come together for something like
And
that.
people don't want recognition either. I was like, hey, do you care if I get like your picture and like thank
Like,
you?
no,
And
no.
they're like, no, I don't want to do that. Just here, Merry Christmas. And I'm like, you guys really do get the giving spirit. That's what
Yeah.
I love about this time of year.
I think it's true, and I see a lot in this town. I think we've got a good Christmas spirit overall in this town. We got some Grinches. I know I've played in bands with them, but for the most part, a bunch of good humans around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, kids, that is our Christmas Facebook Live, Christmassy spirit abounding. I didn't see any comments pop up. I don't know if Facebook's alive or not today, but I do know you're watching. Again, if you're interested in the Rock and Roll Drive-In tickets, I'll give you till, let's see, because you may watch this on replay. How about, pick the kids up, let's say 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock
Yeah.
Central. If you're interested in a car pass to go to the drive-in either tonight or tomorrow night, you are welcome to it. Post in the comments, and if you are, we'll send you a PM. You could go tonight and see How the Grinch Stole Christmas, followed by National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, or you could go tomorrow and see Elf, followed by A Christmas Story at the Rock and Roll Drive-In, just south of Cape.
Great
So-
Christmas movies.
Yeah, absolutely. Great way to kick it all off. Have a fantastic weekend. Be smart and safe. Rachel, anything else you want to leave them with? Any words of wisdom as we move out?
Just keep listening to all the best holiday cheer here on 93.9 at Mike FM. We'll have that rolling all the way through Christmas. And so as you're decorating the tree, if you're like Darren, you've kind of been slow to get all that done. Well, you got the perfect soundtrack to go along with it. You can even tell
Right.
Alexa to play KGKS.
Easy peasy lemon
Yep.
squeezy. So check Yo Elf for your Wreck Yo Elf and have a fantastic weekend. Be nice, humans. And thanks for tuning in for another Mike Side Chat with 93.9 Mike FM.